toward Arcturus, some 900 million kilometers. He was moving at a hair better than 99% of the speed of light. Velocity transformed his view of the surrounding universe, compressing it into a circle of light dead ahead, most of it infrared light from Arcturus, blue shifted into optical wavelengths. The AI sensory correction program, however, was able to untangle the flood of speed-distorted light into its separate components and correct for the distortion. His velocity also distorted time by 7-1 at this velocity. Each passing minute for Alan was 7 in the universe outside. It created the illusion that he was hurtling deeper into the Arcturus system much faster than he actually was. Some 200 minutes objective after entering the Arcturus system, Alan passed the star, skimming the giant's photosphere. The probe's electromagnetic shielding deflected the worst of ionizing radiation, but had little effect on radiant heat. Briefly, the probe's hull struggled with temperatures approaching 900 degrees Celsius. Nanotechnic currents within the hull laminates helped distribute the heat, radiating much of it harmlessly astern. And then the star, its monstrous, turbulent, and roiling girth nearly 26 times larger than Sol's, fell away behind, redshifting abruptly to a near invisibility, illuminated at optical wavelengths solely by redshifted X-rays. Alan's objective now lay directly ahead, 20 astronomical units out. Long-range detectors were already picking up ships, enemy ships, though at this distance those images were more than 2.5 hours old. As expected, most of the enemy targets were grouped closely around a Jupiter-sized gas giant, listed in the database as Alchemeth, and its Earth-sized moon Jasper. Orbiting the moon was Arcturus Station, a terraforming base established by the Confederation 3 years ago to begin the process of turning Jasper into a human habitable world. But 14 months ago the Tarush had come. A Confederation naval task force stationed here had been all but wiped out. The orbital station had been captured. So far as could be gathered, nearly 6,000 technicians, planetologists, xenologists, terraform specialists, and first down colonists on the station, men, women, and children, had been butchered. The probe sensors were picking up the faint reflected gleams of Arcturus Station, 200 kilometers above Jasper, and 2 Beta-class Tarush battleships hanging close alongside. Each a small asteroid, crater-pocked and immense. Numerous smaller vessels swarmed in the giant's shadows, Juliet and Kilo-class cruisers. If more distant Tarush warships were positioned far enough from Alchemeth that they could have observed the emergence flash of the probe on the far side of Arcturus, there was no sign, though he was picking information out of light that had left Arcturus Station less than an hour after his entry into the system. A warning might well be on its way to those docked warships from sentries more than a light hour away. Long minutes crawled past. The probe was hurtling toward the enemy vessels out of the glare of the local star, invisible, but before long the Tarush sensors would detect the distortions in space caused by the probe's enormous AGM, its artificial gravitational mass. For a time, Alan considered the possibility that they simply weren't looking in his direction, that he was not going to be noticed at all. And then the smaller warships alongside Arcturus Station began accelerating. Moments later, a cloud of missiles streaked in his direction. Alan began shifting the singularity drive randomly in different directions, causing the speeding probe to jinked unpredictably. The time lag between his position and theirs gave him an advantage, time to calculate incoming trajectories and arrange not to be at their endpoints when the missiles detonated. Alan's recon pod was unarmed. He increased acceleration, tacking additional 9s onto his current %C. Anti-ship missiles closed with him, and for a few moments Alan engaged in a deadly game of tag, jinking hard this way and that to confuse enemy missiles and defense systems. A nuclear fireball flared to port, dazzling and intense, the hard radiation sleeting across his screens. Alan survived. The gas giant Alchemeth showed a disk now, swelling rapidly as Alan's sensors continued correcting.